Ah, yes, Shade, our lovely dark elf here. Such a lady, such a proper woman. Uh, no, but I actually did a Shade build. It was my first build type video that I actually ever did, but it was like a minute long, and I didn't really even talk in it, so I have just been feeling kind of dissatisfied with it lately. So this is kind of like a mulligan on that one, kind of a redo, a little bit of an explanation, if you will. So her passive ability, Murderous Prowess. Critical hit backstabs, instantly slay man-sized enemies. That's cool. She's kind of like a little assassin, kind of a stealthy, quick, kind of get behind and flank the enemy type character. So that's cool. She can kill stuff pretty quickly from behind. Her career skill, Infiltrate. Carillion becomes undetectable and can pass through enemies. Lasts for 5 seconds or until she attacks. So, just to help with that backstabbing, that kind of quick killing, undetectable, getting behind the enemy kind of playstyle. Good for that. She also has Assassin's Blade here. 50% additional damage when attacking enemies with melee attacks from behind. So they definitely want you to be kind of behind the enemy line type of character. So that's interesting. For the THP talents, your options here are Bleak Vigor, which is like melee crit strikes, headshots, give you 2 temporary health. And if you crit a headshot, that's twice as much, so that's 4 temp health, which is honestly not bad because she does crit quite a bit. The only thing is she's got Kane's Thirst here, which is melee killing blows restore temporary health based off the health of slain enemies. So this one is like, especially on a higher difficulty mission, this one's really good because you can kill chaos hordes, chaos warriors, beastmen, and you'll get lots and lots of temp health. You won't get quite as much from the Skaven until you get to the more armored boys, the bigger guys. But just from the regular little dudes, you won't get very much. But since most maps, throw a bunch of different enemies at you, you'll get quite a bit from this Kane's Thirst here. I also don't recommend heal share. Just you don't make any temp health, so it actually kind of hurts you in that way. You have to be healing all the time. This is actually okay for like bots, believe it or not, because they're kind of whores for healing. But yeah, no, I recommend the killing blows for temporary health. And then down here, I like Cruelty. Increases critical strike damage bonus by 50%. As you can see, I'm going to be using the sword and dagger. With Shade, you can also use the dual daggers, and those crit quite a bit. So you definitely want that extra crit damage. So I like this one. If you crit from behind with this, you'll be doing double damage, which is pretty sweet. She also has Exploit Weakness, and this one's pretty decent if you have a Witch Hunter Captain with like Flens on. Shade will do 20% more damage to those enemies, bleeding or poisoned enemies. So that one's pretty interesting. Then you have Exquisite Huntress here. Headshots, basically if you hit headshots consecutively within 5 seconds, each one will increase the damage by 10%. It stacks up to 10 times. So if you have really amazing aim, you can be doing like twice the damage on your bow. But the problem with this one is that most people don't have that aim, right? So it's almost like a wasted talent unless you're just like godly with the bow, and you can get like 8, 9, 10 headshots. Most people probably get like 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most, and then they'll miss one, or it'll be like a body shot, and then they'll lose all that extra damage. So I just prefer to go with the melee damage personally. And then down here, Smiter, I love it, but Assassin, it's the one thing I think that is better than Smiter, especially for dual wielding weapons. It's basically the same amount of damage on charge attacks, give or take. But on like regular attacks, Assassin does way more. So Assassin does 20% more damage to staggered enemies, but then headshots and critical hits, you get 40% bonus damage. That's 40% bonus damage on top of Cruelty and on top of Assassin's Blade. So you're going to be doing 140% more damage. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Enhanced power, it don't recommend for this at all. You really shouldn't even be using the bow that much with Shade. She's a complete like melee killer. You really don't need this. Assassin, I think, is the way to go. And then down here, you have Aerith, Kial's Herald. I'm sure I butchered that. This is one I like. Assassin's Blade increased to 75% additional damage when attacking enemies from behind. So no longer 50, but 75%. So it gives you that 25% extra damage. I think it's great. A lot of people use Vanish here. It's killing an enemy with a backstab grants stealth for 3 seconds. And this isn't a bad talent at all. This is definitely really good if you want to go for that kind of backstab playstyle. It's just, I don't like it personally, because when there's a horde, I'll just be killing things nonstop, and I'll get a backstab, which is kind of without really even realizing it, and then I'll be invisible, and it'll kind of mess me up, and I won't know if I'm invisible or not. I don't know, for whatever reason I'm retarded when it comes to this one. So you can use it if you want, if you're good with that, but I just like extra damage. She also has Blood Fletcher. Backstabs return 1 bolt or arrow. So again, if you're going to be using Exquisite Huntress, Blood Fletcher has to go with that one. Down here I like Blood Drinker. Critical hits reduce damage taken by 20% for 5 seconds, which is really good because she crits all the time. Couple that with Bark Skin, you're going to be taking 60% reduced damage when you get hit twice. So definitely something to keep you alive there. You've also got Spring Healed Assassin. Critical hits increases movement speed by 20% for 5 seconds. I think this is completely useless. Movement speed is a joke. I hate it. It just serves no purpose other than to get yourself killed. And the same kind of thing here with Blade Runner, just a general 10% increased movement speed. Doesn't really do anything to help you kill things quicker or survive. It just makes you run faster. It's stupid. I don't like it. Down here you have Cloak of Mist. Infiltrate cooldown reduced by 45%. No longer grants a damage bonus on attacking. So you can go invisible quite more often, get behind enemies, but you don't get that bonus damage. Shadow Step. Infiltrate causes Carillion to blink forward, passing through enemies, so kind of like the Handmaiden's Dash in that way. You're invisible, you dash, you can get behind enemies, and then you get the bonus damage, which is cool. I like Cloak of Pain. Hitting an enemy while under the effect of Infiltrate does not break stealth. Second attack does not grant damage bonus. It can only trigger once. So this one, you go invisible, you don't dash, you can move where you want, place yourself in a position, do your backstab, you'll get your bonus damage, and then you'll be revealed, basically. It's useful against a monster when you want to position yourself right behind them for maximum damage. It's quite nice. And then for the equipment, the Sword and Dagger is my favorite weapon in the game. I go for crit chance, crit power, swift slaying on it. It's already pretty fast, so you don't really need attack speed, but you definitely want as much crit as possible. This is a crit build after all. Another good one are the dual daggers for her. They're very fast, so I have crit chance, attack speed on here. You definitely don't need that attack speed. You can go for like power versus chaos or crit power or whatever you want. One thing about this one is that they actually do more damage than the Sword and Dagger. So for monsters, they're actually going to do more damage to that monster. The only drawback is they're much shorter, so they don't have the reach that the Sword and Dagger does, which I like this because it's better for hordes in that way, but dual daggers are definitely pretty good. So those two are probably be my top recommendations. You also have the Longbow here. Crit chance, power versus Skaven, barrage, if you're going to be shooting a monster over and over, you do a little bit more damage. I have power versus Skaven on here. That's just literally just for gun rats, fire rats, hook rats, assassins. That's just to kill those kind of specials. Those things give me trouble. I suck against specials. I'm always getting grabbed by hook rats, assassins. Gun rats piss me off. I just want to kill them as fast as possible. So I go for the power versus Skaven on here. I don't use the bow much, though. I pretty much only use it to kill specials. So that's what that's for. And then the necklace. Definitely bark skin. Great trait there. If you take 2 hits, it's 40% reduced damage for 2 seconds. So if you take 2 hits right in a row, you won't die instantly, pretty much. It's just something to prevent you from dying right away because you like made a mistake or you lag or something like that. And then I definitely recommend health on the necklace. I think every character that you play with should have as much health as possible. Just something to keep you alive. You make more temp health. It's great. Shade stamina works very well. Gives you an extra shield so you can attack, do your motions, push, charge attack, push, whatever combination you want. I like it for that. She's a very offensive type of class, so works pretty good. If you're gonna go with block cost reduction, that's not terrible either. That works fine. Block cost reduction would give you 3 stamina shields. Stamina would give you 4. So pretty much just how you want to play besides that. And then the charm, I like concoction. In a pinch you can just have any kind of potion. For a monster, like, you can use your ultimate, hit him. The cooldown's only 1 minute, so you can take a speed potion, drink it, you'll get your ability back in like 5 seconds. Hit him again, you kill that monster. I mean, he dies. I go for attack speed and crit power on here. So the idea of this build is I want as much crit power as humanly possible. The attack speed just serves to make that sword and dagger fast enough for me. Yeah, I mean, this is like a maximum crit damage build. I think you have close to, if not more than 200% crit damage on this build, which is 4 times normal crit damage. And then for the trinket, curse resistance, crit chance, just lets you, proc that assassin extra damage more often. Curse resistance for the Grims, great for legend and underruns. And then shrapnel, of course. You take a bomb, you throw it at a monster, you go invisible, you go behind them, you're going to be doing 20% extra damage on top of the nearly 4 times extra damage you're already going to be doing on crits, mind you. So yeah, overall, this is a really nice melee build. Great crit damage, great for killing monsters, great for kind of flanking hordes and getting behind them. Good speed, good reliability on the sword and dagger. Give it a whirl.